I'm Chuck Frederick, owner slash administrator of Helping Hands Residential Care Home. If you want to know what it takes to start and own your own assisted living facility and what my experience was like in my first 9 months, you should check this out right now. I don't have any experience at all in a medical field, medical background, and senior living outside of just assisting my grandmother, my grandfather here or there. So I don't have any type of nursing degree. I'm a real estate investor by day and a realtor by day. And I also have my mortgage license. So outside of that, this is completely different ball game, completely different feel for what I'm used to doing. So me being a realtor is how I even got interested in the assisted living business. I had a client. We were going around Port St. Lucie looking for some houses. We had about 7 houses on the list that we were going to check out. So we were driving around. I was opening up the houses, letting her in, doing my little tours. On that aspect. When we got to our last house on the list, we looked at it and we kind of seen it had separate walls and fire extinguishers and things in the house. We're like, do you want to see it? I'm like, do you want to see it? And we were like, we're here because we live in West Palm Beach, which is about 45 minutes from Port St. Lucie. So we're in the area. We might as well check it out while we're here so we know. So we go to the property, check it out. She loves it. She's a travel nurse. She says, this is what I always wanted. I wanted to start an assisted living facility. It looked like it was built for that. I believe she said group home, not assisted living facility. So I was like, perfect. Let's check it out. Let's see what's going on. So she talked to her husband. He said, yeah, I think it's a great idea. I said, okay, let's do it. And she also said, Chuck, I know you're an investor. I know you do real estate. I know if I don't buy this, you'll buy it. So at that time, I knew nothing about it. I had no interest in it at all. But I'm like, yeah, I'll buy it. You better buy it. But it was more so because I was a little bit trying to, entice her to move forward with the purchase. So I wrote up the contract. Offer got accepted. She made the escrow deposit. We got the ball rolling. Somewhere along the line, about 2 weeks in, she like, I think I just want to take a break. I'm not sure if I want to do this anymore. I wanted something traditional. I don't want this to be my first home. And I tried to talk her out of it. She had her mindset, and we ended up doing the release and cancellation and backing out the deal. So this was November of 2022. January of 2023 comes around, and I'm just doing my regular morning routine. I hop on Bigger Pockets, and I check out a podcast. It's this lady, I forgot her name. She's talking about the silver tsunami and how there's going to be such a high demand of residential assisted livings required for the baby boomers that's about to retire. So I'm already a real estate investor. I got this property in the back of my mind, so I'm listening to everything that she's saying. At the end of that, I text the realtor and I'm like, "Hey, this is Chuck. I checked out the property a couple months ago. Is it still available?" She says, "Yes, it's still available." So I'm like, "I don't know much about the industry, but if I buy the property, would you help me get started?" She gave me a call, talked for about 45 minutes. I felt real good about it, and we went on the contract from there. Did the whole financing thing. Deal fell through a couple times. Had to reach out to a couple people to make it work. Got the deal done, and April 3rd, 2023. So from there, creating the name, Helping Hands, creating the logo, two hands over a house. Found some colors that are kind of neutral for the elderly population and things like that. And we got the ball rolling. It took us about 4 months to get licensed. We got licensed at the end of August. Through my process, I decided to hire a consultant, even though I had the woman that knew the business that got licensed, but she pretty much introduced me to all the people that she was working with to help her go through the licensing process. So my consultant helped me do everything, get my policies and procedures done, recommended me a course to do the administrator licenses. So you have to you can hire an administrator or you can become your own administrator. You will save some money doing it yourself. getting licensed as the administrator. So that's how I did it. That's how I approached it. Got my administrator license. Had to do a inspection with the health department to make sure everything's sanitation. We have signage. We got to make sure we had the correct signs throughout the property. Make sure we had the proper lighting throughout the property. Make sure we had thermostats in the refrigerator and the home was able to cool to a certain temperature and heat to a certain temperature, and the water was able to cool to a certain temperature and heat to a certain temperature. So we did all of that, and then the fire department came in, had to do an inspection with them. Um, they came in to make sure the extinguishers work, the fire sprinklers work, and we had our emergency exit signs, a few other things, but we made sure we had all of those things taken care of. So from there, we had to complete the ARCA application. The ARCA application is its own beast in itself. You get 2 submissions to correctly complete and fill out the application along with all the required documents. So we had to review it several times and make sure we had all the documents and create a cover letter. And that probably took a couple weeks in itself. Get your financials done. You have to have a certain amount of money in the bank. You have to have a certain projected income over the first 3 years to make sure that you have, if not the capital or the potential future cash flow, to make sure you can keep the facility open if you're going to be caring for, people's loved ones and, some elders in your community. So once we got that done, we submitted at the end of June. And like I said, we got approved in August. Once we got approved in August, that's where the fun began. So now you're working towards getting your residence. The home was beautiful. Everybody loved it. But when they came in, it was just like they were doing a showing for a real estate purchase. Like, imagine going to a hospital and you have to get heart surgery. But whenever you go to the hospital, there aren't any doctors in sight, any nurses, any administrative tasks, any tools, any instruments, anything. So it's like, why would I get surgery at this hospital and there's nobody here? So that's how it was for me. Every time families came, they loved it, but they were like, I don't know. There's nobody here. There's no caretakers. There's no people. We don't know what it's going to be like. So that took 2 months. I got my first resident in November. It was a hospice resident. He was on an oxygen tank. He had a family that came and saw him, but he didn't do much. He was kind of relaxed. So you will learn about your different type of residents, what levels of care that they'll need. So as far as the hospice resident, he was relaxed. He had his meal. He slept most of the day. But there was an issue because I used a staffing agency to do my hires, and it didn't work out. They don't actually meet the caregivers for the most part. They just kind of dispatch people to locations. So the caregiver that I was given had a situation with the family, and it didn't work out. The family ended up moving their loved one and to another facility, and I was back at at the beginning. I was back at zero. So from there, I had to kind of take it back to square one, see why I went wrong, and kind of figure things out from there. And for me, it was not taking responsibility and hiring my own staff and vetting them and making sure they have a good background and doing all those things on my own. So I took it upon myself to make sure the next time around I do the hiring, the firing, the training, and everything to make sure that when this person comes in, they're gonna understand how we want things here done at Helping Hands. So the next employee I hired her at the end of December, and we had our next resident come in at the end of January. So we had 3 people move in at the end of January. That went really well. They came from placement agencies. That's when you start to figure out, okay, we want things done like this. This is the best practice for this. And you kind of figure it out along the way. And the most caretakers, they'll have more than enough experience. Most of them been in the industry their entire lives. So now it's just finding the proper way to care and make sure that that resident is being properly taken care of and loved on the correct way. So it's 2 ways that people can pay for the care and stay in your facility. So they can have long-term care insurance where you're paid directly through the insurance company, or it can be private paid with the family, or the trust fund, or whatever financial fiduciary facility they use, or funds that they use to make sure that they're able to, cover their living expenses at your facility. Year to date, we have 5 current residents. I have a 2 staff rotation currently, along with me pushing in 3 times a week. Initially, I thought this was going to be a hands-off real estate investment. Now it's turning into something fulfilling and long-term for me. It helped me be a lot more patient with my family, with my kids, with my girl, and just being able to understand, because you're dealing with a more gentle and delicate population, and they need us. They're in their golden ages, and just being able to, listen to some of their stories and listen to their families and have their families trusting you with their loved ones at this stage in their life is it's so fulfilling. You wouldn't even understand what it's like being able to be trusted by people who've never met you, and you're not a big corporation. They're pretty much bringing them into your house and trusting that you'll make sure their family and loved ones are properly cared for in their golden ages. So this is been great. Um, we'll continue to grow. We have great reviews from the families, and there isn't any sugarcoating in this business. Like, if they don't think you're taking care of mom, they'll let you know, and they will let other people know. If they don't think you're taking care of dad, you'll know about it. Their family will know about it. So you have to be in this business for the right reasons, and make sure that you're here to be that you're going to be someone that the family can rely on, and make sure that you can fulfill the duties that you're called to do at this stage in the resident's life. So let me know what you guys have. Let me know what questions you have. Let me know if there's anything that I can do to help you. And I'm looking forward to growing with you guys. I'm looking forward to continuing to share my journey and my path in this industry, and in real estate in general, and see where it goes. You guys can follow me on IG. Be sure to like, subscribe, share with families and friends, and reach out to me. And let's see what we can go from here. Signing out, DGT Chuck.